Yeah. Track back a little. Yeah, go up. I don't know. Not too far. Alex, can you get on that side and try? Is there that little knob sticking up? I don't have that. I don't know why you go that far and stop. Okay. Go down a little bit. Okay. Now we need to grab like we need to drag it out. Yeah. It's like this cookie or something hanging up. Well, now the bolt's hitting on this side. These bolt heads hitting. Yeah. Is it hitting yours head? Mine's over against it. So that's the problem. It's out! Finger out! Oh, broke it. Oh! Hey, leave it right there. Stop, stop, stop. Lost the whole coil thing. Son of a bitch. If Bob's gonna come up and hit one of that old bolt heads from that big hook. I didn't know there was that position on it. I didn't either. Whoops. Everybody gets there's that much tension. It happens. Alright, that's part. It'd be like a time lapse. That was not supposed to happen. Oh well. It's just a spline coupler. Yeah. Yeah, it didn't hurt nothing. We were caught on that nut on that side there. And I pried it up and it just come forward. Yeah. Take your arm.
Well, that had some scary moments, but at least it's out. Well, now that we have the engine removed, I'm going to start scraping up all this nasty stuff, cleaning this belly pan all out, and get it prepared to put the new, the new used engine back in it. Did find out the transmission's not locked up, but the engine is. So the story is correct on it. So I feel more confident about doing an engine swap, because we weren't sure, we were on the fence if the training was locked up or if the engine was locked up. So now got that pulled out. I put some channel locks on the input shaft of the transmission and it turns. So I'm happy. So we're going to get this cleaned up. We're going to get both engines in here side by side, see what needs swapped from one to the other, and then we'll be able to maybe set it back in this afternoon and start putting it back together. Well, I got the belly pan all cleaned up. I didn't want to roll it back outside and pressure wash it, so I just took a little gas and kind of rubbed it around and cleaned it up, let it run out in a drain pan, and then just took the air blower and kind of blew it around, and it'll work. I mean, what's left, if we do decide to pressure wash it, it'll be fine to do with the engine in it, because there's not like dirt and stuff. It's just a film of oil. So a little purple power degreaser in there, some Dawn dish soap, and pressure wash it, it'll clean right up. So I'm going to clean up the floor underneath, drag all the dirt out, and then it's ready to go back together. Well, got the floor all cleaned up and swept the shop out. There was floor dry all over the place. It was just a real nasty mess to walk around in. So I'll tell you what, one of the handiest tools for the shop is a blower like this one. I've got a DeWalt one at home, and I've also got a Black & Decker one at home, but they all work the same. But very handy tool to have in your shop. If you don't like using an air blower and dragging a hose around, just take this and you can blow whatever you want. Does a fantastic job. It's lightweight, easy to carry around. I love it. No hose getting tangled around your legs when you're trying to blow. So anyways, I'm going to go get rid of all this, put this in the waste oil, and gonna go dig the motor out of the building that we're gonna swap in this, and then I'm gonna get it brought in the shop and start stripping on it. Well, we've got both of our engines in the shop side by side. This is the one out of the 850 that we just pulled out. This is the one out of the 644D John Deere loader. This is the one that's going to go back in after some changes, because this engine is not after-cooled, so we're going to have to change intakes and put the after-cooled intake on it. There's actually quite a few differences. All the pulleys off the front of the 850 motor need to go on here. No, because this is a 3-groove. Or no, I think that's, well, we'll have to investigate that. But the 850 had a bigger fan, so it's got a 3-groove pulleys for 3 belts, and the 644 only had 2 belts for the fan. Air conditioner pump has to come off the 644 engine. The motor mounts have to be changed. Top water jackets have to be changed too. So there's quite a few differences, but they're still both 64, 66 John Deere blocks. So blocks, heads, injector pumps, they're all the same. So the only thing is we need 10 more horse out of this one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to turn the pump up a little bit to get 10 more horse out of it. So that won't be no big deal. People do it all the time. And especially with it being after-cooled, it'll handle the extra horsepower a little better. So we're going to go get some lunch, and then we're going to come back and we're going to start doing some swapping of parts. Probably strip this one down, put all the pieces we don't need on a pallet, and then start with a stripped block and bolt all this stuff off of this one onto that one, and we should be done. We're going to change. Huh? If anybody needs parts, we will have parts. We will be dissecting this motor to see exactly why it's locked up. We drained the oil out of it and it had some antifreeze in it, so that's not a good sign. So, but it does look to have a different head on it, so that head's probably good. Injector pump's probably good. Injectors are probably good. So there's a lot of value left of this motor. I'll probably keep this one and build a pulling tractor with it. So we'll see what happens. But are you spraying window cleaner at me? You're trying to get like a smoke effect in the video? So anyways, we're going to go get some lunch and then we're going to come back and get started on these two and see how it goes. Well, we started our teardown process on the two engines, and Dad's strength discovered that she must have got some rainwater in the turbo when it was in the 850, because that turbo is junk. It won't spin and it's oxidized in there. So probably gonna have to reuse the turbo out of the payloader motor. I have to do a little research to see if it's the same size. Visually it looks the same size, but I know that that's not always a good thing to go by with turbos, because the fins can be different geometries and there's a whole different ball game when it comes to size of turbos. I've learned that from being in the truck pulling world for as long as I have. So just because it looks like the same size outside doesn't mean that it's the same size. Did you get it to turn? I told you the old Rusty's is a miracle worker, but still I don't think we're going to trust that turbo.
It'll run.
You think it'll run?
Listen to that. Smooth as can be. Just stop.
That sounds like skeletons screwing on a tin shed roof. That's not going to work. We're not running it. This isn't Junkyard Wars. We don't have to reuse that kind of shit. So, but as you can see, this one's in good shape. Nice and spins nice and free. Yeah, that one's new. But anyways, we're gonna keep plugging away at these two and see if we can't find some more problems with that one and see what we need to fix with this one. I can tell you right now, we probably need a rear main seal for this one. So probably just gonna do that anyways, even if it doesn't look like it needs it. I don't know where that oil came from. It had to come out of the rear main seal because there's no oil in this case. This inside this bell housing was this coupler in this shaft that was in the payloader, and then them U-joints. So pretty interesting design here. It's all rubber in there. So yeah, if you got a John Deere payloader and you wonder what's in the bell housing, that's what's in there. Are you still pissing with that turbo? You're using a drill? Very careful, that motor's going to start and fly away. Okay, well, we're going to get back at it. We are making good progress tearing these apart. I've got the exhaust manifold, intake manifold, turbo, exhaust pipe that was still on it. I've got all that off. Dad's strength's over there whittling away at his. He had a lot more stuff to take off than I did. So the only thing I really got left is this air conditioner pump, this back bell housing, which I can't take off right now because the motor's sitting on it on a block of wood, so I can't take that off. The only thing we really need to figure out is the top water jackets, because this one has 3 thermostats in it. The one that came out of the dozer has 3 thermostats, and the loader one only has 2 thermostats. So I think we're going to have to unbolt all of this off the top of the head and swap them, because there was a reason it had 3 thermostats. I don't know if it was for quicker cool down or what their idea was behind that. So I know everything about this dozer cooling wise is a lot bigger, such as the fan and now the 3 thermostats. So we better swap that around. So we're getting there. We're gonna finish tearing these down and get a list of gaskets, because we're going to need a gasket to go back on, or right there, because when we pull this cover off to put this piece on, we're going to probably destroy that gasket, so it's going to have to be replaced. Another thing we're going to have to swap over is motor mounts. These are different, so we're going to do that next. And starters are different, so we're going to have to do that. But so far, everything matches up. All the holes are where they should be for everything, so this should be a successful project. I don't see why it won't be. So I think the 6466 was probably one of the longest production John Deere engines built, because I know they're in 40s, 50s, and 60 series tractors, 55 series, can't forget them. So there were quite a few 6466s, so I'm pretty sure everything is pretty much universal on them. So the only thing that was different was the liners were different for the different horsepower engines and pump adjustments and turbo sizes. But blocks and heads were all pretty much the same. So, and that works out well for this project, because it's not like we're trying to pull a John Deere motor out and put a 8.3 Cummins or something back in its spot. So it's not one of them engine swaps, it's just normal block and head, and other than cubic inch differences, that's the only differences. So, and we're going to see how this old dozer runs. If it pushes good and no other problems transmission wise or hydrostat wise, because this is a hydrostat, if everything checks out good, and if this engine acts like it might be a hair tired or something, we got plans on just pulling it back out and doing a major overhaul on it. But we don't want to major overhaul it and then put it back in and have hydrostat issues. So, because if this dozer's got hydrostat issues, it's going down to see Kelly Drews at the dismantling yard. I'm not pissing around with it. So we got a good chance of it being a good dozer, or we got a good chance of it being a bad dozer. We don't know yet. It's what happens when you buy a piece or get a piece of equipment. We traded for it. You get a piece of equipment you got to drag on a trailer and bring it home, and it sits for 2 years. You don't know what you're going to end up with. So kind of a chance, but who knows? We did discover that the hydrostat units are rebuilt, so it's possible that this dozer will be perfectly fine. And while we were taking it apart, we discovered a lot of new bolts in different spots, so it has been taken apart, so chances are it at one time had a lot of work done to it, so it could be a diamond in the rough. We never know. So I'm just excited, and Dad Strength's excited to take it out and push some dirt with it. So it's always fun when you get one of these projects and you can actually play with it when it's done. But anyways, we're going to keep working and see what we can tear up next. At least we haven't broken any bolts off yet. That's a good thing. Well, I only broke one bolt off, and it was in the belly pan, so that's no big deal. I can fix that. So anyways, we're going to get back to work. So Dad and I decided to start taking the old dozer motor apart to see if we can figure out what exactly was wrong with it. And as you can see, it's pretty damn nasty inside. So yeah, so this ought to be interesting to see what we find deeper inside. So look at these beautiful push rods. Yeah, yeah. Gonna be a lot of wire wheeling when I take this motor to rebuild it for the pulling tractor. Look at that, nasty. Well, you can. Well, it's the end of day 2 on this project. We didn't work on it all day. We had some interruptions today. Had to go move an excavator and go get some parts and stuff like that. So it wasn't a full day of work, but as you can see, we got quite a bit of the accessories stripped off of the dozer motor and got them put on the, well, I need to quit calling it the payloader motor because it's going to be the new dozer motor. So we got a lot of the stuff stripped off. We're going to get some new intake gaskets, new exhaust manifold gaskets, new water jacket gaskets, and then we're going to have to get this front cover gasket so we can put that piece back on right there. So it was a good day, successful day, got a lot done. So tomorrow we'll get those gaskets, we'll get the starter and stuff all back on. Got the motor mounts back bolted on. So I'm going to call it a good day. Maybe by tomorrow afternoon if we get to work on this, which I don't know if we're going to get to work on it. I think we're going to take some trees out tomorrow. We might be able to get it set back in. So far everything is going really smooth. I'm going to have a pile of these payloader parts, like this drive coupler, this back housing piece, and I'll have an air conditioner pump, this manifold, intake manifold. So if anybody needs any parts for their 644D or B, I believe, I've got a few, and I've got these U-joints for it too. So if anybody's interested, let me know in the comments. We can always ship them wherever you want them. And if I got them and somebody can use them, I'd like to help them out. You know, I don't want to just throw them away, because actually this part right here needs a new bearing in it, but the shaft's good. And this coupler looks really good. The rubber's all good in it, and the splines look really good. So if somebody needs one of them for one of their John Deere loaders, just let me know, and we'll get together on that and figure out how we can get them to you and come up with a fair price on them. I don't need to get rich on them, but so anyways, I'm going to head home for the night and get some supper. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like and a subscribe. Like I said, this is going to be probably a 5-part series because I don't want to make it all one video and bore everybody to death. So, but anyways, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.